What's up, y'all? It's Matt with Family Tradition Farms. Hey, a lot of you guys have been asking how exactly we're going to run an electric pump for our fertilizer off this old John Deere 4430. Now, when these tractors came to the market originally, electronics weren't around. These came out in the 70s, so about the most you would have is a planter monitor that just had some blinking lights, and guys just ran jumper wires straight to the battery. So today I'm going to take you around the tractor. We've already got it put back together, but I'm going to show you where we ran wires, what kind of accessories we added, and what kind of power, electrical wise, we can pull from this old girl. So we'll start by taking you around to the door side and show you where we're getting power from. So we are pulling power for everything inside right off the starter. We got a new wire here, and then we're grounded back in here on just a mounting bolt for the starter. Let's jump up in here and I'll show you what all we are going to run off this tractor. So the fertilizer pump, as you can see, is mounted right back here on the tongue, and it runs through this control box here. So this control box is going to have a power cord come out the back, run over there, and then we got to pull power up to the tractor. So the way we're doing this is this guy, these are a series of harnesses for pressure, power in and power out. We are running the A&I version of the Accessory power strip right down there. We'll get to that in a second. But what that consists of is a power cord, just a 3-prong power cord right here. You plug that in down there, and then this plugs in to our control box. Now what that does, having it this setup, is when we're done planting, we can take all this out pretty easy. We don't have to really disassemble anything. We also have our control box for our planter monitor. Tells us population, skips, doubles, and all that. And we're doing the same thing. Harness comes in from the planter, will come in through the back, plug in here, and then again we've got a second power strip, runs up, and we'll tuck all these wires away, get them all hidden, and we're going to plug that in to the accessory strip down below. So really simple up here. I didn't do the electrical. I had an electrician come and wire all this up. This came from Dan at Daylight Tank Solutions, already together like this. The nice thing about this is no chemical comes inside of the cab. There are controllers out there that a feed line will come in and actually plug into the controller, and that's how it reads pressure. This system here, the pressure sensor is actually back there. So it reads pressure back there, and then it just sends electrical current up into the cab. So up in here we also have our lights here. So we've got our front light bar and our rear lights. All of this is key powered, so when we turn the key on, these light up green so we can tell we've got power going to them, and then we can turn on our front light and our rear lights. Obviously our dash is not really put in there real well. As much stuff as we've got crammed inside here, it doesn't fit back together real well, but that's okay. We're going for function over form. So that's what the inside of the cab looks like. Pretty clean. These are monitor mounting brackets from Shoop, and that's a monitor platform from Shoop. Probably not going to put any monitors up there, but it's a good place to throw our cell phone or keys or wallet or anything while we're up here cruising around planting some corn and beans. So while we got all this loosely tied up, I just wanted to show you what we're doing. Let's jump down below. I'm going to show you how we did this. So here is that power strip. Now this did come from A&I, and the way it works is just got a cover. Obviously you've got 6 options of plugins, so you can run a ton of different stuff. We're not going to pull anywhere near that much power at any given time. At the most we may pull 3, so more than what we need, but works really slick for quick disconnects and reconnects. Over here we've got some just trip breakers. We went ahead and put these in because of the amount of power we're going to be pulling for the electric pump. In case something does come up, we don't think it will. These little guys here will pop, and then we can just reach down from the cab and reset that and continue. So it's just a protection from the whole electrical system. We also added in a relay, which is really tucked up in here. I'll show you a picture of that. So we added that in to protect the system before it gets here. Again, we want to be extra cautious because these tractors are so old. The electrical systems aren't the best. Now, granted, we did run all new wires, but you want to be safe. When we're talking about this kind of electricity running through here, we don't want anything getting hot, cables melting, shorting out, causing any kind of fires. So that was the safest way to do it. By doing it this way, we completely bypass the fuse panel and the bus bar on the other side. Those from the factory are not designed to allow this kind of power to come through. All you'll do is just pop fuses the entire time you're operating them. We basically ran power up and over. It comes into the relay back down here. From there, the relay comes up into here. From here, it goes into this. And then again, from this, we are able to plug in any kind of accessories we want. So we have our fertilizer pump, then we have our planter monitor, and if we ever get some kind of GPS unit, whether that be a John Deere monitor or a Raven or a Trimble or something like that, where we want to mount maybe a light bar or some kind of more extensive monitor, we have that capability with this system. So that's it, guys. Pretty straightforward video here. I just wanted to show you how we wired up the electrical on this tractor. It is complicated if you don't know anything about electricity like me, but if you have a buddy that's an electrician, definitely give him a shout. If you have really detailed comments or questions, drop them down below in the comment section, and I'll see if I can help you out on how you can wire up your Sound-Gard cab tractor to be way more efficient and allow you to run more modern technology. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.